Hello St Ava class, I hope you've had a lovely weekend. It is our final week of year 2 this week and now our final week of Under the Sea. So this morning I thought we would find out a little bit more about some under the sea creatures from our big book of the blue, and then we're going to have a look at some seascapes. So first let's learn about some different creatures, and first one today is sea snakes. And I'm just going to hold that there so you can have a look. Has anyone seen a sea snake before? Okay, let's have a look. How can a snake live underwater? A sea snake is very good at swimming. It has a flat tail that it uses like an oar to help it swim quickly through the water. It has to come up for air, but can hold its breath for a long time underwater. A sea snake sheds its skin every 2 to 6 weeks to get rid of barnacles that grow on its body. Do you remember barnacles? We learnt about those in our rock pools. Can you find an eel? It has a long ribbon-like fin along the whole body. Can you find one? Salty spit. A sea snake filters out salt from its blood and spits it back into the sea. Rings of danger. Sometimes a sea snake has colourful rings on its body that say, "I'm poisonous." Let's see what we've got next. Next one, deep sea fish. Just hold it there so you can have a look. So these are fish that live deep, deep down in the sea. Let's have a look. What do deep sea fish have in common? Deep sea fish look very strange. They live in the cold, dark bottom of the sea and have to survive under the weight of tons of water pressing down on them from above. There is very little food or oxygen so deep down in the sea that fish have adapted special ways. Anglerfish. A female anglerfish has a light bulb hanging from her head. When other fish swim up to investigate, she snaps them up. So they have like a little light hanging over their head to help them see deep, deep down in the ocean. Okay, ogrefish, I think we say it. This fish has long, sharp fangs that point inwards and stop its prey from escaping. It looks scary, but can only grow 15 centimetres long. So that's them there. So they do look very scary, but they're the same length as half a ruler. So if you think of the rulers we use in school, they're half the size of that. The gulper eel. The gulper eel has a big mouth and a stretchy stomach to catch as much food as possible. And a blobfish. A blobfish has a squashy body that is compressed into a blob under the pressure from above. Can you see the blobfish down the bottom? Let's see what's next. Next one, show you the page. Swordfish. Can you see it? Does a swordfish have a sword? A swordfish's nose is sharp and pointy like a sword. It uses it to splash and stun its prey. It can even use it like a knife to cut food into smaller bits. So it has what looks like a sword right on the front of its face, and it can use that as a knife. Sun seekers. A swordfish loves to bask in shallow water and soak up the warm sunshine. Toothless wonder. When a baby swordfish grows up, it loses all its teeth. Sword aboard, A swordfish can be strong and aggressive. It can even pierce the hull of a boat. So here's the hull of a boat, and it's so sharp that it can pierce a hole in it. One fast fish, a swordfish, can swim up to 50 miles per hour. It's one of the top 10 fastest fish in the world. That's a good fact. So it can swim as fast as cars go. Next one, rays. Now I think these are amazing looking animals, rays. They're very wide and very flat. Does a ray make electricity? There are many types of ray. Only electric rays make electricity in their bodies. They use their electricity to shock predators or prey and to send a message. Water wings. A ray has huge wing-like fins. When it flaps them, it looks as though it is flying underwater, so it flaps its wings like a bird. Ray wash while you wait. A manta ray often visits cleaning stations where other fish eat its dead skin. So it will go to cleaning stations, and then other little fish will get all the dirt, will pick all the dirt off their skin. Stingrays. A stingray has a poisonous spine in the middle of its tail. It uses them to catch other fish for dinner. Breathing back up. A ray breathes through its gills under its body. When it lies on the sand, they are covered up, so it breathes through the backup holes on its head. So they breathe through these on the bottom of their body, but when it lies flat on the surface, which they often do, they have other holes on the top that they can also breathe through. Coral reef fish. Now, you usually get lots of beautiful bright fish amongst the coral reefs. Is a coral an animal or a plant? A coral is a type of animal. When there are lots of them all together, they make an underwater forest called a reef. Plants grow here too. Reefs are home to many types of special fish. We've got the parrotfish. A parrotfish uses its beak-like mouth to scrape tasty algae off stones and coral. So they have a mouth that looks like a beak. It helps them eat their food. We've got clownfish. Now a lot of you will know clownfish from the film Finding Nemo. He's a clownfish. A clownfish lives inside a sea anemone. The anemone's stinging tentacles guard the clownfish when it's inside its home. We've got boxfish. A boxfish is square. Its bones are rigid like a suit of armour, so it can't move quickly. Other fish can find boxfish too hard to eat. So boxfish, these yellow ones here, they're square. And their shell is so hard that other fish struggle to eat them. Lionfish. Now lionfish, I don't know if anyone's seen any of these before, they're beautiful. A lionfish has colourful stripes that say, "I'm poisonous," to bigger fish that might try and eat them. Can you see them down there? Let's have a look. One more. Next one. You might know this one. Tuna. I'll just show you the page. How many tins can one tuna fill? So you may have seen tins of tuna before. You may have them at home. A bluefin tuna can live for 40 years, grow up to 3 meters long and weigh more than a horse. It could fill more than 5,500 tins. Torpedo tuna. A tuna has a super streamlined body which helps it glide through the water. I wandered lonely as a tuna. A tuna has no home. It spends every day of its life swimming across different oceans. Plenty in the tank. A tuna is a strong and muscular fish. It can swim very fast for a long time and cover big distances. What does a tuna have in its sandwich? As carnivores, a tuna also likes to eat fish for tea. Okay, and then when we have our video on Wednesday, we will look at a few more animals, and the next one is my absolute favourite animal, and some of you may know. So have a think, but the next one we start with next on Wednesday is my very, very favourite animal. So what we're going to look at this morning is seascapes, and seascapes are pictures of the sea. So we're going to look at different artists and different seascapes and have a look while we're looking at them at how they're created. Do you think they're painted? Can you see different brush strokes? Have a look. So first one we're going to look at is called Fishing Boats on the Beach. I'll slightly move out of the way. So Fishing Boats on the Beach, and this is by Van Gogh, who's a very famous artist. So you can see the boats on the beach, the sand, you can see the waves crashing in, you can see the lovely blue sky, and you can see lots of textures in the picture, lots of different colours. So it's not just a blue sea and a blue sky. You've got lots of different colours for the clouds, different colours for different parts of the water. You may have seen boats like this on the beach. Let's look at the next one. So this is the cliffs after the storm. And again, we've got lots of great different colours. So we've got some beautiful big cliffs here. Lots of blacks, browns, whites, greys. We've got the stormy rough sea underneath. You can see the waves crashing in with all this white used. We've got some clouds in the sky. Let's have a look. Next one. So the great wave, and this, if you can see, is painted very differently to the last two. So it's still got the ocean in it, but it's much brighter. You know, it sort of looks like a cartoon, doesn't it? We've got lots of whites, different blues. We've got a very dark sky in the background. So again, this is another picture of the ocean, but it's done in a very different style. Now this one is probably quite a familiar picture. This is called A Summer Day at Brighton Beach, and a lot of you may have been lucky enough to be at Brighton Beach. And although this looks like it was painted many, many years ago, especially by what the children are wearing, you could go to Brighton Beach today and you'd see children doing the same thing, having a paddle in the water. Okay, so we've got the beautiful blue sea in the background. As it comes in closer, it gets a bit greener as it gets shallower. Got beautiful different colours around their feet, and if you see, it's not all blocked as one colour. You've got lots of different brush strokes with lots of different colours. So go our next one, and this is a much stormier picture. So again, we've got the beach and we've got some boats. We've got a very stormy sky, lots of greys and blacks and whites. We've got some sort of island in the distance, some mountains. And if you look at the sea, it looks very stormy, doesn't it? It's dark. You can see the waves crashing in. So again, it's a very different mood in this picture. And again, this one's called Rough Weather. If you've ever been to the beach in winter or on a very windy day, you'll see the waves crashing in. And so you can see all the waves crashing in here with all this white. You've got these big cliffs in the background. And again, very different feel to the picture. This doesn't necessarily feel like a nice summer's day at the beach. This is maybe sort of a stormy day at a different time of year. We've got lots of beautiful detail on the ocean with the waves coming in and the rocks in the distance. We've got two people standing right by the sea watching it happen. And then this one, again, another very different way of creating a seascape. So we've got the sea here, we've got a couple of boats, and you've got the land, but this one, if you can see, is done by sections. So it looks like there's lots of sort of cutouts of different textures, different colours, and it's built up. The hills in the background are all different sections and different colours of green. So again, a very different way of creating a seascape. And then we've got this one. This one is a little blurred, but you can see that very calm ocean here coming into the bay. You've got a beautiful cliff in the background. And this one is done, I'm not sure you can see it on there, but this one is done with lots of little dots. So no sort of big blocks of colour, no brush strokes with paintbrushes. It's lots and lots and lots and lots and lots of tiny little dots that then build up to make the colour. And then last one I'm going to show you, again painted in a very different way. So again you can see the sort of pebbles of the beach, you can see the blue sea, you can see a house in the background and some green land and some mountains. But again, this one looks painted, but very different use of brush strokes. Lots of bright colours, lots of swirled shapes, and a very different way of painting. So what I thought you could do today is create your own seascape. Now, you may want to have a go at copying one of these. I will put this on our Year 2 tile so you can see the pictures. Or you may have at home pictures of you at the beach or beaches you've visited around the world, and you may have a great picture that you would like to have a go at copying. So first you need to do is pick an image that you would like to do. Then have a think about how you're going to do it. Now you can do it with paints if you've got some paints at home. If you don't worry, there's lots of things you can make seascapes out of. So you may have chalk at home, and you may want to have a go at making a seascape in your garden and do it on the patio stones. Colouring crayons, felt tips, even scrap pieces of paper, you can rip it, different colours out and layer it up to make a seascape. You could use all sorts of things. Have a look at what you've got at home and have a go. And remember, if you want to send me what you've created, I would love to see it. So send it to saintava@stjohnshorsham.school. Have fun creating your seascapes. I look forward to seeing them, and I will see you on Wednesday.